The lights in Wallingford Center flicker softly after closing. The shops are dark, the doors locked, and the sound of traffic from 45th Street fades until only the hum of the building remains. Somewhere above, a door closes. Footsteps echo down a hallway that hasn't been a hallway for decades. The air smells faintly of chalk dust and old wood, though the classrooms are long gone. If you listen closely, you can still hear the rhythm of a school day. The shuffle of shoes, the murmur of voices, the faint ring of a bell that hasn't sounded in half a century. Welcome to Wallingford Center, once the John B. Allen School, now a collection of shops and studios built inside the bones of a century-old classroom building. A place where history was never erased, only rearranged. The John B. Allen School opened in 1904, one of Seattle's earliest elementary schools. It was built in the classic style of the era. Red brick, tall windows, steep staircases, and a basement that doubled as storage and shelter. Generations of children passed through its doors, learning their lessons while the city grew around them. By the 1950s, the building had aged. The district closed it, reopened it, closed it again, and for years it served as a temporary office space, a storage facility, even a community center. Each transformation left traces. Desks stacked in corners, chalkboards painted over, stairwells sealed and reopened. When the school finally shut down for good, the building sat empty. But it never felt abandoned. Neighbors said they could hear voices at night, the sound of children laughing, and the faint echo of a piano from somewhere deep inside. In the 1980s, developers repurposed the structure into Wallingford Center, a mixed-use space with shops, studios, and offices. The renovation preserved the original hallways, stairwells, and much of the old struck architecture. The classrooms became boutiques, the auditorium became a cafe, the basement remained mostly untouched, and through it all, the building kept its memory. Step through the doors, and you can still feel the symmetry of a school. The hallways are wide, the ceilings high, the floor is polished wood that creaks underfoot. The air carries a faint echo, not loud, but constant, as if the building itself is breathing. Each shop occupies what used to be a classroom. The walls are thick, the windows tall, and the corners still hold the geometry of desks and chalkboards. Some tenants say their spaces feel too big for the sound inside, as though the rooms absorb voices instead of reflect them. Walk toward the stairwell, and you'll notice the temperature drop. The light changes, the air feels heavier. The second floor corridor is lined with frosted glass windows that distort the shapes behind them. Shadows move when no one is there. And then there's the basement. Sealed for years, reopened, sealed again. It's one of the most unsettling spaces in North Seattle. The walls are rough brick, air cold and damp. People who have walked down there describe hearing footsteps on the floor above, even when the building is empty, and the faint sound of a child humming somewhere in the dark. Wallingford Center is haunted in layers. The first layer is residual, the building replaying its own memories. Visitors hear the faint ring of a school bell, the shuffle of shoes, the murmur of voices that fade as they approach. Tenants working late have reported hearing laughter in the hallways, followed by the sound of a door closing softly. Security cameras sometimes catch movement in empty corridors, a shadow crossing from one side to the other, then disappearing into the wall. The second layer is architectural. The building's design amplifies sound and light in strange ways. Footsteps echo longer than they should. Reflections in the glass don't always match the person standing there. Some nights, the stairwell lights flicker in sequence, as if someone is walking up or down unseen. The third layer is personal. Former students who return decades later describe a feeling of recognition, not nostalgia, but presence. They say the building feels aware of them, as if it remembers who they were. One woman recalled walking past her old classroom and hearing her name whispered from inside. Another said she felt a hand on her shoulder while standing in the hallway, only to turn and find no one there. The fourth layer is transitional. When the school became Wallingford Center, the energy didn't leave, it adapted. Shop owners talk about objects moving overnight, lights turning on in locked rooms, and the sound of desks scraping across floors that no longer hold desks. A cafe owner once described hearing children's laughter just before closing. Faint, distant, and unmistakably real. And the fifth layer is the basement. The basement is the heart of the haunting. It's cold, silent, and heavy with memory. Workers who've entered describe hearing footsteps behind them, the sound of water dripping from nowhere, and a low hum that seems to rise from the floor itself. Some say they've seen a figure standing at the far end, a child, motionless, watching, who vanishes when they approach. Wallingford Center isn't haunted by tragedy, it's haunted by continuity, by the presence of memory, by the building's refusal to forget what it once was. The ghosts here aren't angry, they're patient. They linger in the hallways, watching the new life unfold around them, unwilling to let go of the rhythm of the old school day. Wallingford Center stands as a monument to transformation, a school turned community space, a relic turned landmark, a building that never truly emptied. The laughter of children may have faded, but the echoes remain, woven into the walls, the stairwells, and the air itself. As you step outside onto 45th Street, the traffic hums, the lights glow, and the building settles behind you with a quiet, watchful stillness. Inside, the hallways are dark now, but somewhere deep within, a door closes softly, and the faint sound of footsteps begins again. Wallingford Center remembers, and it's not done telling its story. Follow 45th westward and the neighborhood shifts. The houses give way to storefronts, the quiet streets to the hum of Ballard. A place built on sawdust, salt water, and stubborn memory. Ballard has its own ghosts, its own echoes, its own buildings that refuse to forget. And at the center of it all stands an old Carnegie library that traded books for beer, but kept every whisper of its past. But that is a story waiting just down the hill.